The likelihood of a router burning up and smoking from being plugged into a reverse polarity receptacle is very low. A reverse polarity receptacle is one in which the hot and neutral wires are reversed. This can happen when an electrician makes a mistake during installation or when a plug is wired incorrectly. When a router is plugged into a reversed polarity receptacle, the power supply in the router will try to draw current from the neutral wire instead of the hot wire. This can cause the power supply to overheat and fail. In most cases, the router's power supply will simply shut down to protect itself from damage. However, in rare cases, the power supply may overheat and catch fire. If you are concerned about the safety of your router, you can have it checked by a qualified electrician. The electrician can verify that the receptacle is wired correctly and that the router is functioning properly. Here are some additional factors that can affect the likelihood of a router burning up from reversed polarity. Firstly, the age of the router. Older routers are more likely to have power supplies that are not as robust as newer routers. Secondly, the quality of the router. Routers from reputable manufacturers are more likely to have high-quality power supplies that are less likely to fail. Thirdly, the environment. Routers that are operated in hot or humid environments are more likely to experience power supply failures. Overall, the likelihood of a router burning up from reversed polarity is very low. However, it is important to be aware of the potential risks and to take steps to protect your router from damage. Now let's delve a bit deeper into each of these points. Regarding the age of the router, power supplies, like any electronic component, degrade over time. Electrolytic capacitors, a common component in router power supplies, tend to dry out, reducing their capacitance and increasing their equivalent series resistance or ESR. This degradation can lead to increased ripple voltage on the direct current output, causing the power supply to work harder and generate more heat. Older routers, especially those that have been in continuous operation for many years, are more susceptible to these types of failures. Modern routers often incorporate more robust power supply designs with high-quality components, but older models may not have these features. Therefore, if you are using an older router, it is advisable to inspect the power supply for any signs of bulging or leaking capacitors or unusual heat. Regarding the quality of the router, reputable manufacturers typically invest more in the design and components used in their power supplies. These power supplies are often designed to meet stricter safety standards and are tested more rigorously to ensure their reliability. Lower quality routers, on the other hand, may use cheaper components and less sophisticated designs to reduce costs. These power supplies may be more susceptible to failures, including those caused by reverse polarity. It's also important to note that some power supplies include overvoltage protection or overcurrent protection circuits which are able to protect the router in many cases. Regarding the environment, routers operated in hot or humid environments are more likely to experience power supply failures. Heat accelerates the degradation of electronic components, particularly capacitors. High humidity can also contribute to corrosion and other forms of degradation. Routers are typically designed to operate within a specific temperature range, and exceeding this range can significantly reduce their lifespan. If you are operating a router in a hot environment, it is important to ensure that it has adequate ventilation to prevent overheating. You can also consider using a fan to cool the router. While the likelihood of a router burning up from reverse polarity is low, it is important to understand the potential risks and take steps to mitigate them. Regularly inspect your router's power supply, ensure adequate ventilation, and consider using a surge protector to protect against other types of electrical disturbances. If you are concerned about the wiring in your home, consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that it is up to code and that all receptacles are properly wired. Moreover, it's worth considering the specific standards and regulations that apply to electrical installations. In the United States, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, sets the standards for safe electrical installations. Article 200.7 of the NEC specifically addresses the identification of grounded conductors, which is relevant to the proper wiring of receptacles. This section requires that the grounded conductor, or neutral wire, be identified by a continuous white or grey covering. This helps ensure that receptacles are wired correctly and that the hot and neutral wires are not reversed. Article 406.3 D requires that receptacles installed on 15 and 20 amp branch circuits must be of the grounding type. It also specifies the methods for grounding the receptacle, which helps to protect against electrical shock. In addition to the NEC, other standards and regulations may apply depending on the location and type of installation. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with applicable codes and standards. When dealing with electrical issues, safety should always be the top priority. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to leave the work to a qualified electrician. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper knowledge and experience can be dangerous and can result in serious injury or death. To elaborate further on reverse polarity, when a receptacle is wired with reverse polarity, it means that the hot wire and the neutral wire are connected to the wrong terminals on the receptacle. This can create a shock hazard because the metal chassis of appliances and devices connected to the receptacle may become energized. In a properly wired receptacle, the hot wire is connected to the smaller slot and the neutral wire is connected to the larger slot. The ground wire is connected to the round hole. When the receptacle is wired with reverse polarity, the hot wire is connected to the larger slot and the neutral wire is connected to the smaller slot. This means that when a device is plugged into the receptacle, the hot wire is connected to the neutral side of the device's power supply, and the neutral wire is connected to the hot side. This can cause the power supply to malfunction and potentially overheat. One common way to detect reverse polarity is to use a receptacle tester. This is a simple device that plugs into the receptacle and uses lights to indicate whether the receptacle is wired correctly. If the receptacle tester indicates that the polarity is reversed, it is important to correct the wiring immediately. This can be done by an electrician who will switch the hot and neutral wires on the receptacle. It is important to note that reverse polarity is not the same as a ground fault. A ground fault occurs when the hot wire comes into contact with a grounded surface, such as a metal water pipe or a metal appliance chassis. This can create a shock hazard because the grounded surface may become energized. Ground faults are typically detected by ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, which are designed to trip and cut off power to the circuit when a ground fault is detected. GFCIs are commonly used in bathrooms, kitchens, and other areas where there is a risk of water exposure. To further protect your router and other electronic devices, it is recommended to use a surge protector. A surge protector is a device that is designed to protect against voltage spikes and surges. Voltage spikes and surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. Surge protectors work by diverting excess voltage away from the electronic devices connected to them. When a voltage spike or surge occurs, the surge protector will clamp the voltage to a safe level, preventing damage to the connected devices. Surge protectors are available in a variety of styles and sizes, including power strips, wall-mounted surge protectors, and whole-house surge protectors. It is important to choose a surge protector that is rated for the appropriate voltage and current for the devices that will be connected to it. It is also important to choose a surge protector that has a high surge protection rating. The surge protection rating is a measure of how much energy the surge protector can absorb before it fails. A higher surge protection rating indicates that the surge protector is better able to protect against voltage spikes and surges. In addition to surge protectors, uninterruptible power supplies, or UPSs, can also be used to protect routers and other electronic devices. A UPS is a device that provides backup power in the event of a power outage. UPS typically contain a battery that can provide power for a limited amount of time. This allows you to safely shut down your devices and prevent data loss. UPS are available in a variety of sizes and power ratings. It is important to choose a UPS that is sized appropriately for the devices that will be connected to it. You should also choose a UPS that has a battery that is large enough to provide power for the amount of time that you need. When selecting a router, consider models with built-in surge protection or other safety features. Some routers include built-in surge protection to help protect against voltage spikes and surges. Other routers include features such as overvoltage protection and overcurrent protection to help protect against other types of electrical disturbances. These features can help to improve the reliability and longevity of the router. In summary, while the likelihood of a router burning up from reverse polarity is lower, it is important to be aware of the potential risks and to take steps to protect the router from damage. Regularly inspect your router's power supply, ensure adequate ventilation, and consider using a surge protector or UPS to protect against voltage spikes, surges, and power outages. If you are concerned about the wiring in your home, consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that it is up to code and that all receptacles are properly wired. Keep in mind that electrical safety is paramount. If you are unsure about any electrical work, always consult a professional electrician. They possess the knowledge and tools to ensure safe and compliant electrical installations. Remember, prevention is key. Regular maintenance and inspections can help identify potential problems before they escalate.